Good morning, YouTube. I hope you guys like my kind of thought-provoking style topic videos. I'm primarily never going to be that concerned when it comes to video views currently, because a lot of the content that I am putting out is going to be something that will be swept up into the YouTube algorithm in the future. So I don't pay much attention when it comes to kind of where my views are at in the present time, because I'm pretty much producing content for future tense per se when it comes to the style of companies I speak on, in addition to discussing rental platforms, etc. Not that like sustainable fashion and eco fashion is something that is already very much in trend, and it will just be growing permanently for the course of time. So I do like to speak on future developments, and I do like to talk on things of that nature. So within the context of that information, I was watching a movie on Netflix called The Social Dilemma. I highly recommend this movie. I think everyone should watch it. I think if you are on social media, if you have a smartphone, or are plugged into any form of social media devices of any kind whatsoever, I think that everyone needs to watch The Social Dilemma. It basically just talks about how AI and technology in general is just basically kind of overwhelming human society, and that we live in a never-ending bubble of confirmation bias when it comes to our thoughts, opinions, etc. It's fairly interesting to me, and it rings very, very true as to why I system hack so much when it comes to all social media platforms, because there's two primary goals would be more like algorithm hacking as well as system hacking when it comes to social media platforms, just simply as a protection device for your own information, for yourself, for your very essence of your soul, basically. I feel as though social media in general is definitely something that has been ever growing and increasing over the course of time. I think we all know many of the stats that are linked to dopamine deregulation, as well as emotional deregulation, as well as just the general treating human beings as expendable objects, like, quote, throwing them in the dumpster, like dating apps, etc., reinforce when it comes to human behavior. In my opinion, treating a human being like that is fucking appalling. And I think that the way that social media and technology in general is starting to mold and shape how human beings connect and interact with one another is fascinating, but I think that everyone needs to err on the side of caution when it comes to how you look at these platforms and how you operate within them. So, a few points of advice I would like to give people. This is just automatically how I operate when it comes to social media. I had no idea it was actually like an addiction issue for most people. So the past year, 2+ or so, I have really been pushing at building up my social media platforms to be business only, and I think that is primarily how they should be used, and that is it. When it comes to my Facebook, I have very low engagement rate on my Facebook, especially since they changed the algorithm, and I'm not going to post overtly dramatic, controversial topics simply for likes. I think that's pathetic. I just think that posting things that are meaningful, insightful, sometimes they can be controversial, absolutely, but I think posting things that are nourishing, therapeutic, and meaningful to the human soul, at least most of the time, is to be advised. So the way that I operate within my Facebook is, all I do is I don't even look at my newsfeed. I've never looked through my newsfeed ever. So I have nearly 5,000 friends. I have virtually 10,000 people that follow me. I don't look at any news feeds whatsoever. I don't pay attention to political posts. I don't pay attention to any of it. All I do is post. If I read an insightful article, if I read something that I think that would be beneficial to someone, or I watch a YouTube video that I find to be insightful or inspiring in some way or informative, I will post something like that. Obviously, of course, I'm going to post, anything involving company stuff, anything involving any of my work, basically, of course. But outside of that, I just kind of post and sign off. So for me, I think that so many people get swept up into the social media land as like deeming someone's merit and or success in life. And I will be the first to tell you that social media success does not equal real world success. They are not even connected. They can be connected, but not always. Some of the founders of multi-billion-dollar companies and high-level tech companies that I actually admire don't even exist on social media. Or they have an account that has nominal followers. Yet they're still as real-world successful as anyone with a super chatty social media platform would be. So I'm not opposed to growing followings on social media. I honestly think that my followings will end up just growing as a byproduct of company success, and that's fine. But there is a huge line that I think people need to take into account when they are assessing what is reality versus what is a created fictional reality that people can kind of put on their social media without actually having very much real world success. And for some people, social media can absolutely be work. There is content creators, all kinds of ways to actually work on social media, which is amazing. But I think that everyone needs to look at things very open-minded and in a more all-encompassing scope when it comes to the social media platforms and where that is impacting their self-worth, where it is affecting their self-esteem, etc. We are entering a time in humanity within the next 10 to 20 years. People, the technological, how do I word it? Basically, people just being glued to their phones is going to just get worse. And people's opinions are going to be completely false because there is no proxy to truth. So I invite everyone to look outside of their confirmation bias box and truly think about how social media is impacting your life if you have addiction issues with social media, and really focus on growing your serotonin levels, which can be done through healthy eating, organic fruits and vegetables, and maintaining healthy small intestinal health, because over 90% of your serotonin is manufactured in your intestines. So very important. And that will come, obviously taking probiotics as well as digestive enzymes can also be beneficial. But eating a healthy diet, eating organic, local when possible, taking time to have true human connection and not allowing the addictions of society to corrupt you or to rule your life. I very much agree with a lot of these statements that were made in the social dilemma of it, just society in general just becoming very mentally sick due to how technology and the addictive components of social media is starting to kind of hijack many people's consciousness and thoughts. I really, really hope that people take more time to have self-reflection and self-respect and be able to cut addictive tendencies or patterns off and look at social media and the data collections that they are doing on everyone as a potential threat. Don't look at it as your best friend, you know? It needs to be mitigated and controlled and put in its place virtually all the time. A huge way to help with that is always turn your notifications off. I am huge on turning all of my notifications off. I always have been that way. I always have my phone on silent. I always have my notifications off, or I'll just have my phone on silent and I turn it upside down like all day. And I make sure that during heavier work times, I definitely am much more responsive on WhatsApp and much more responsive in Asana and group projects, etc. But overall, like, I'm not driven by notifications, you know? So I think that whenever you download a new app or things of that nature, you need to make sure that you turn off any notifications that app provides you that you don't specifically want, and also have designated times in your day, say maybe the first couple hours in the morning and the first couple hours in the evening that you answer emails, etc. Just designate your time and make sure that it's controlled as much as possible depending upon what your workflow is for that day. So get out in nature, have real human connection and contact, because intimacy is such a vital, fundamental, foundational part of our experience on this planet. So I hope this information was insightful and helpful. And please watch The Social Dilemma. Highly recommend it very much. So I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Please like and subscribe if you liked this information. More coming soon.